Good morning, Chanel.
Good morning, Mary. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I have one request. As people get on the line as participants, if you can upgrade them. I mean, as I get on the line for, you know what I mean.
Okay, no problem.
Everybody should be a participant in my committee because we're such a tiny committee.
I got you.
And, you know, it's really important to get the the senior center directors involved, you know, as now that they are consistently joining the meeting, because a lot of what we do has to do with the centers and how they're doing and what they need.
Yeah.
Morning, Maria.
Morning. Hello.
Hi,
How are
Maria.
you?
Hi.
How are you feeling?
Lousy. I'm sleepy. I was
Huh?
in another. I'm doing another Zoom, which is a all day city. The city college have some 2 days of panels, and God only knows how many other things. And it started at 8:30 this morning.
Hey.
So I'm jumping to this one. I may go back a little later. I have
Okay.
to go an hour later. I don't know how the weather is.
It's supposed to be sort of rainy all day. That's what my understanding is, but who knows? But at least not cold. So
Yeah, I heard that it's going to be a little warm, but
in the 50s, yeah.
Yeah, if it's rain, then it's a problem. For me, it's a problem.
I know. I
have
agree.
to carry an umbrella, my pocketbook, holding on for dear life. Anyway, why complain?
Because it gives us something to do.
No, this
other than you know.
Yeah, no, there's so many things happening at the beginning of December, and
Right.
it's really hard to go from one to the other and whatever. Anyway, so what do we have on the agenda? Long agenda today, dear?
I sent it.
I didn't read it. Okay. Oh my Lord.
Good morning, everyone. This is Verna from Victor. Hi, Maria.
Good morning, Verna. How are you?
Hi, Maria Luna.
How you doing?
Hi, good morning, Elizabeth. I don't know Elizabeth, but
good morning.
Good morning, Elizabeth. I saw you were trying to get audio. Okay. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Likewise.
We're going to wait another couple of minutes because we've got more people hopefully coming on. Good morning, Chanel.
Good morning, Mary's Lily.
How's everybody? Hi, Lilia.
Well, I noticed the next meeting, January 6th, that's 3 Kings Day, so you better have something prepared for that day. Some gift and things like that. That's what we expect.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I know, I have, I think it's 15 now, godchildren who are Puerto Rican. And when they were little, I had to do Christmas and then I had to do 3 Kings Day. But, now that they're grown, they're on their own and thank goodness. I still acknowledge it, but no more double gifts.
Sleepy. Anyway, Mary, before we go into this meeting, did you go to the NCO meetings in your area?
No, because I couldn't go because, and I couldn't get to the last meeting either of the council, but I had a wake. One of the elderly priest in my parish passed away over the weekend, and we had the wake in the church on Tuesday evening. And that's when the Build the Black meeting was. So I couldn't go or attend. I mean, it was on Zoom, but I could not,
What is
unfortunately.
that, from St. Elizabeth Church or from?
No, Incarnation.
Who is that?
Incarnation, 175th and St.
Yeah,
Nick.
no, I know that
What?
church
Yeah.
real well. But I mean, what was the priest? You said.
Oh, Father Guerra.
Okay.
He was 90
I know. It's
and he was doing
Remember the
well, but
name.
then he had a stroke a week before and he never recovered from that. So, and it was a big, big thing. And I'm a lecturer in the church. So.
Mhm.
And then we had the funeral yesterday morning. So, been a busy, sad week. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing okay.
Good.
Relatively quiet week.
I'm sorry.
A relatively quiet week.
Well, that's good. As opposed to what Maria Luna and I were just talking about in our busy weeks.
I know. I have in one day I have 6 Zooms. December 9th. I have no idea why they pick. There must be something about the number 9 that my God. I saw, since we are members of Community Board 12, I noticed that there is a party, a celebration or something like that.
Yes.
I saw that place was closed. Was it the Marina? Is it the
Yes,
Marina
except
Club?
that it can be rented. You can have events there during the winter season.
Really? All right.
But in general, it's closed. It's not, open to the public.
Uh-huh.
Oh. I'm such an on-time person, but I don't want to start the presentation until more people. Hi, lady. How are you? Good morning.
Morning, everyone. I'm Mary. Hi.
Hoping my public members will get on soon. Richard, do you know anything about Fern?
I don't. I'm actually on vacation this week,
Oh, that's right. You did tell me that.
which is what's made it a quiet week.
There you go.
So
Jealous.
I just from emails yesterday, I know she had an extra full calendar. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to predict this morning.
Okay.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Alana. How are you?
Hi, I'm just, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to get off because we're getting audited.
Uh-oh. Well, good luck with that.
Yep, thank you. All right,
Okay.
bye-bye.
Hi, Shirley. Oh,
Good
I saw
morning.
her.
Good
There
morning,
you
everyone.
are. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's see. I have a request of my committee members. And there aren't too many. Well, there aren't too many of us, put it that way, left because Glennis Aquino Gill and Cindy Matos are no longer on the committee. although Cindy hadn't had a chance to really join us at all. And Glennis having trouble with her job and them, allotting her this time to be at a meeting. So she's no longer on the committee either. So our committee has shrunk again. And I got a message from Joseph that he's not able to join until 11 because he's got a meeting at his job that he must be at. So, Richard, I hate to ask you because you're on vacation. Would you mind just taking some notes only until Richard gets on? I mean, until Joseph gets on.
I'll be glad to do that. One thought,
Yes.
that's been a cycle with him. I wonder if we should adjust our meeting by half an hour, or, there's some other small way.
We could try to do that, although, we can ask him if that would work better for him. And then we can, do a committee vote on it. But, something for
You're
people
saying
to
from
think
11,
about.
starting at 11?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be any problem. If it's okay with him.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the people anyway, but
Yeah, I mean, sort of, I guess that half hour, it kind of breaks, into, the meetings that start on the hour and end on the hour, for jobs and stuff. Anyway, thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. And I will break the moment he signs in to, let everybody know that he will then be taking over the minutes. Okay.
Worry not.
All right. So let us call this meeting to order at 12:35, I guess, or 12:40, whichever one's closer to 12:40 a.m. This is the Committee for Concerns of the Aging on Thursday, December 2nd. I welcome everybody. Happy Hanukkah to all of those who celebrate. And I hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. And we will begin by introductions. I am Mary Anderson. I'm the chair of this committee. Maria?
I am Maria Luna, also a member of this committee.
Richard?
Richard Allman, committee member.
Chanel? Chanel?
I'm Chanel,
Thank you.
Community Associate at Community Board 12.
Okay. Julie?
Good morning. I'm Shuli Gottman, Director of Mariah Senior Center, and I'm on the White Coal Board.
Great. Verna, are you still on?
Yes, I'm right here.
All right, there you go. I don't see your picture. Okay.
Good morning. Oh, yeah, yes. I'm like the no picture person.
There you
but,
go. Okay,
do
okay.
it for a hot minute.
But
Good
introduce
morning.
yourself,
This
please.
is Verna Arthur with the Department for the Aging. Hi, everyone.
And Elizabeth.
His name is Patrick.
Sorry.
Good morning. My name.
Oh, okay.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is
Oh,
Elizabeth
hey,
Urena.
Fern. All right, Elizabeth, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Urena, and I've been. I first want to thank you. I've been invited to present. I asked to be invited to present today.
And welcome, Fern.
Fern Hertzberg. I'm a public member of this committee and the executive director of ARC 16 Fort Washington, co-chair of WICOA.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Joseph, our assistant chair, will be joining us about 11. All right. So welcome to everybody. And we have presentation by Elizabeth Urena, who I spoke with and I got information about. She is MPA regarding a proposed corporation called Wellness and Inwood. And she will tell us what that's all about and what her proposal is and will involve. And then we will jump in with questions and comments and requests and all that stuff. Elizabeth, take it away.
Thank you.
And if you, do you need access to the screen, to share screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so Chanel, when that happens. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Okay.
There you go.
Good morning. As previously stated, my name is Elizabeth Urena, and I want to first thank you for the opportunity to coming in front of your distinguished board to discuss a project that is very dear to me. It's wellness in Inwood. Before we get started in what the project entails, I just want to go over a little history about me. Elizabeth Urena, I began working in substance abuse, in the field of substance abuse in about 2003, by mere coincidence. I had my educational background was in criminal justice, and I ended up by referral working in a drug program, in an addiction program in East Harlem. And I had various experiences there in regards to understanding the impact of addiction, not only on the individual, but the family, the community, and the community at large. But most important of all, I understood and I saw firsthand the importance of treatment, not just overall treatment, but culturally specific treatment, and treatment that addressed the core needs of those individuals that are struggling with various mood-altering substances. I remained in the field of substance abuse until about 2018, and we'll get into that a little later, but throughout the decade plus that I was working in the industry, I was able to see the differences and the positive changes with that individuals that struggle with substance abuse and their families have when the right support is provided, when the community comes together, and how individuals can overcome their addiction and achieve sobriety. The mission of Wellness in Inwood would be to deliver recovery-oriented services to individuals who are experiencing struggles with mood-altering substances, as well as those that seek to solidify gains obtained through abstinence. The program aims to establish a team of addiction medicine trained professionals that will be dedicated and continuously work hard to help individuals gain as well as maintain sobriety. The scope of treatment would be individually catered to the language of those that are being served, and the modality would be in group and individual sessions that would be geared towards specific addictions, and the services will be provided by highly trained professionals. Wellness in Inwood would aim to guide and support individuals in community reintegration through work, school, or participation in positive support activities. So it hasn't been a secret for anyone that addiction and substance abuse has been a major problem in our community and in our country, pretty much throughout the entire world for years, for decades. However, COVID-19 exacerbated and brought more to the front line the different issues that individuals that are struggling with substance abuse and mental health disorders struggle with. Throughout the pandemic, we have seen the media has placed front and center the difference into how the overdose spikes throughout the entire country, but specifically in New York City. Overdoses have increased by 36%. Cocaine-related deaths in the city are up 35%. Methamphetamine, ecstasy, ADHD drug-related deaths are up over 50% throughout the city. COVID-19 brought on the world things that no one knew about, but especially brought in more issues for those that already had underlying problems that were not being treated, such as substance abuse and mental health. The pandemic spotlighted racial and ethnic disparities in many areas, but particularly in access to behavioral health care. In particular, Black and Latinos have substantially lower access to mental health and substance abuse treatment services overall, but during the pandemic, this became even more highlighted. Stressors that were already present in our community were highly emphasized because of the pandemic. The huge rates of unemployment, confusion as to what the world was facing, and the sudden rush of individuals dealing front and center to what loneliness was. As we were told to remain at home, loneliness caused a great increase in alcohol and drug abuse, which resulted in a lot of people using alcohol and drug as coping mechanisms, because what else could they do? It has been proven that when world events occur, tragic world events, anxieties are elevated. Studies of previous disasters such as 9/11, Hurricane Katrina, have proven that with each major world event, it results in the increase of alcohol consumption and in intensifying alcohol and substance abuse disorders. The other impact of COVID has been its great impact on relationships. Relationships overall are difficult under normal circumstances, and the pandemic has added more strain and stress to those dynamics. Lack of coping mechanisms in dealing with items such as family loss, grief, bereavement, as well as new family dynamics due to the consequences of COVID-19. Another major issue, and we consider a major problem in experts as well, has been limited access to care. As the world, especially as the world in New York City adapted to accommodating the needs of COVID-19, New York hospitals had to convert psychiatric units into areas where COVID-19 met the medical requirements for those coming in high numbers. A recent study showed that 165 centers that were providing treatment, either non-for-profit and treatment providers, had to close down their centers and or reduce capacity at a 43% in order to sustain the demand to deal with the COVID-19. The reality of this is that many of these centers will not reopen because of all the hardships that were due to the pandemic. Another major issue in the field of addiction and in those that are struggling with addiction is language barriers. Latino migrants, when seeking services for substance use disorder, often encounter many barriers. And individual barriers include limited English proficiencies, high work demands, internalized stigma around drug abuse, and lack of health insurance. Social stigmas of addiction include many different aspects, but the main stigma is seeking treatment has been a strong barrier for Latinos. Lack of social support from family emerged as key factors because it was viewed as confirming that the family might be tarnished because if the secret got out that someone was using drugs or struggling with another mood-altering substance. A major factor also in the Latino community is immigration. Status of immigration has already been shown that it inhibits individuals, minorities, from going and seeking health care services because of fear of deportation and or an inability to understand and navigate our complex healthcare system in America, as well as, obviously in New York City. Relapse triggers include isolation, social distancing, grief, and the mandated quarantine associated with negative emotional, anxiety, fear, sadness, and anger, and boredom. All of this brought even more due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We have been able to, Mental Health Index has been able to study different growing problems, and alcohol has been one of them. Recent studies, as you can see, have shown a dramatic increase in alcohol consumption as well as drug consumption during the pandemic of COVID-19. This is just a breakdown of how different individuals studied in a recent study responded as to their substance abuse since onset of the pandemic. 1 in 4 indicate that alcohol and or drugs have made it difficult to complete related tasks and responsibilities. People who use medication more than prescribed are often more than 5 times likely to report difficulties completing job-related tasks, and 19% miss work or calling sick at least 1 time per week due to alcohol and/or drug abuse. As a community, many different aspects are impacted because of the COVID-19. And problems that already existed, such as domestic violence, different criminal behavior that already existed. This is just some data that we pulled from the local precinct of 2021 in the different police radio runs associated with domestic violence. Our center, Wellness in Inwood, aims to provide a safe haven for families to be able to obtain services in dealing with such issues as domestic violence. This is just a study that we did with our Golden Era, and we'll go into a little bit about that, that corporation in a bit. But this is just a loneliness scale that we obtained data from for older adults during the pandemic. And as you notice, the factors in older adults are more likely to have factors that lead to loneliness, such as living alone, chronic illness, hearing loss, loss of family and friends. During the pandemic, individuals were forced into loneliness, at times with no connection. Yes, many of us became very well versed into Zoom world, into FaceTiming, but individuals with limited resources and lack of technology information were unable to connect with the outside world because they were simply disconnected on March 18th of 2020. The different methodology, the methodology we want to implement in our center to assist our clients would be person-centered care. What is person-centered care? It's treatment that is going to be tailored to the individual needs. Treatment plans that are going to be developed in consultation with professionals, that are going to be created with interventions that are going to help the individual obtain success in the different phases of recovery. Another key aspect of our program would be family integration. We understand that addiction is not just a one-person problem. It's a problem that impacts the family, it impacts community at large. So we want to start there as well. We want to be able to provide peer support where relationships are embedded in our treatment programming, and that there's a shared foundation of support as a healing process, as a community, family, for everyone involved. Our program aims to deliver culturally competent, non-judgmental services in a manner that is respectful for the individual, respecting dignity, personal strength, and self-determination. We aim to deliver interventions that will reduce the economic, social, and physical consequences of substance abuse and misuse. We also aim to seek creative opportunities and develop new strategies to engage, motivate, and intervene with potential clients. This is just our proposed hours of operation. The center would be available 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. We make the extended hours past 5 because we understand that individuals that are struggling with substance abuse at any different phases do have perhaps employment, other obligations, so we want to be able to accommodate to those that we're servicing. The proposed schedule also highlights the different groups that we aim to cover, emphasizing specialty groups, because we aim to also emphasize employment, vocational, and readiness skills to enhance the ability of the individual to connect with community resources and be able to reintegrate back into the community. We aim to have specialty group in domestic violence, alternatives to violence, cocaine specialty groups, alcohol, parenting skills, DWI, as well as DUI. To summarize, with your assistance, Wellness in Inwood aims to prove that encouraging recovery improves everyone's quality of life. Substance abuse treatment benefits us all by helping those in need. Wellness in Inwood strives to establish a safe space that will provide needed tools towards towards breaking the cycle of addiction, a disease that has been proven to have devastating effects on individuals' lives and the community at large. We just also have some references that are available upon request. And thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for that very interesting presentation of your proposed program. I have a couple of questions, and then we'll open it up to the committee and the guests. One, the title of your program is Wellness in Inwood. Does that mean you're only going to serve the Inwood population?
No, the program would be available pretty much to anyone in New York City, but it is a program that Inwood has been an area that we've been working in since 2017, which is why I was going to discuss this closure of Golden Era. I'm currently the director of a social adult daycare center in the Inwood community called Golden Era Social Adult Daycare. And Inwood has been a community that we have noticed has a great need for their services, but the program would be available to anyone in New York City.
The second question I have, and I'm sure this is a concern for the senior center directors as well, is the elderly population and their issues with substance abuse. Will you plan to provide specialty services for the elderly population because they have unique needs?
Yes, and I'm glad you asked that question. The segue that I made into the older adult services, when I left the substance abuse field temporarily back in 2017, as I mentioned, was because I noticed that there was a gap in services for the older adults. That when I was working as a case manager in in East Harlem and then in the other centers in the Bronx, I noticed that when we were formulating services, integrating community services for everyone in care, we were able to get a 40-year-old into a vocational program, employment readiness programs for those that were interested, family programming for the parents of younger children, but older adults. We really weren't able to find something for that population to engage, to address. Hence why I began working in the adult daycare industry. And the reason why I want to segue, and I understand there's a need for it, is that addiction happens at any phase. That there's no age, there's no gender, there's no race, there's nothing. It's indiscriminatory, and that everyone can struggle with a substance abuse. And obviously, our program would be aimed for services for older adults.
Thank you. Okay, let me now open this up to the committee for questions or comments. Fern, I'm sure you have some concerns and questions.
Actually, I was waiting, thanks.
Verna, okay.
Yes, it's in addition to what you had asked, Mary, I was concerned how this information is being reached to the seniors, our older adults and the older adults senior centers. I know Fern is on there. I'm not too sure how many representatives are here from older adult centers and to get this kind of information into their centers. In addition to that, I'm not too sure if it was done as it was done in the past, where you have representatives or speakers come to various senior centers and do presentations. If that is the case, something like this might be helpful as one of the unit educational activities to do a presentation of sort in senior center. But Fern can correct me if I'm wrong, if these type of presentations or presentations in general from persons outside of this, of the program, if they come into these centers anymore to do such presentations.
So Verna, that I had been running a social adult day program I closed my program down actually in the December before COVID. And I know a lot about social adult day. What I don't understand, just off the top, is how you're going to get paid, because we have Inwood Community Services in Inwood, which works a lot with persons with addictions. That's actually one of their primary services. And they also do mental health counseling, and they work with all ages. So I'm not really sure what differentiates you from that. And I've spoken a lot with Charlie, and I understand that in order to get paid, you have to be part of a network. And that's becoming more and more challenging. So I'm not sure that the business plan part of this is viable unless you're thinking that you're going to get money through adult day services. That's number one. Number two, to answer what you're commenting on, Verna, I'm always very careful about allowing outside organizations to come and present, partly because they tend to come to present more to sell their services than to inform our seniors. I'm very interested in things that inform our seniors. I'm not at all interested in things that sell somebody's services, because I cannot be even-handed in that kind of circumstance if one person is promoting a program when I know that there are 4 others in the community that are doing similar work. But we know for a fact that there are addiction issues among the older adults that we serve. We're not saying that there are no issues. What we hear about most, and Lady and Julie can correct me if I'm wrong, but what we hear about most tends to be alcohol. And the behaviors that impact our clients, because the men sometimes go to prostitutes, and then the prostitutes give the men diseases, and then other members get diseases, and there's this cycle that we hear about a fair amount. As far as domestic violence, I will say that Dominican Women's Development Corp and Northern Manhattan Improvement Corp, NIMIC, are both heavily entrenched in domestic violence work. They have contracts with the city to do that kind of work. And so I would recommend, Elizabeth, that you speak to both of those organizations and see what your niche is with them that might be different. Because if you want to sell a new program to someone like me, and I'm a pretty good promoter of services, then I need to know how you are different than the other providers that are long-established providers in the community. And that's my whole commentary. But please, everybody else, pitch in. What do you see, Lady?
Well, I'm sorry. I just wanted to address one question you said in regards to the funding.
Mm-hmm.
The program would be funded through anything associated with adult day services. The program would, Wellness in Inwood aims to have a license accreditation through OASIS. It would be a Part 822 program.
But the problem is now OASIS is only working with IPAs. So you have to become a part of an IPA.
So I have consulted with OASIS prior to requesting the meeting with you guys, and OASIS has given me the green light for the initial exploration of the project. Okay,
I'm just telling you broadly that it's been a problem, and it is a problem. And you have 2 organizations that I know about, Inwood Community Services and Metropolitan, that are both part of the same IPA that's serving our area. So again, Charlie Corliss and Robert whose name now escapes me, his last name, are heavily involved with the IPA side of that. Maria, do you know anything about that?
I have no idea. This is news to me. And since, I mean, I'm listening and it sounds like a very firm setup that she has. I just don't know when it says Inwood, you know, Washington Heights and lower, you know, Washington Heights and things like that. It's left out of this whole,
Right.
you know, equation. So I'm just listening and trying to figure the same thing that since, you know, I am a member of Inwood Community Services, and I know some of the things that she's, you know, talking about.
Right.
It's
right.
already being done for, you know, hundreds of years. So I just don't know how that, you know, that will fit into, you know, adding more to what we have already.
I'm certainly not saying we don't need more. I'm saying that it has to be part
Well,
of
I mean,
a fit.
the problem that I see with new programs, you know, additional programs is like how they're going to interact with other programs and how they're going to affect the services that are being provided for years and years. So, you know, it's you are correct. I think that she should get in touch with these other, you know, groups and to see how they can, you know, work something out. And she will learn how to deal with some of the things that we already are familiar and experienced up here.
So for everybody else, IPA is an independent professional association, and Oasis is now only contracting through these associations. So they may let you explore, they may give you seed money even, but in the end of the day, you have to figure out how you're going to fit in with these associations because they have really tightened the noose on how they're funding things.
Okay, hold on one second. Chanel, can you promote Marie Garcon and Mariel Dela Cruz?
I think Mariel is already.
I'm already here. Hi, everybody.
Oh, okay, okay.
Thank you.
It's Mariel, you posted on the Q&A, okay? Do you want
It
to go
happened
ahead?
at the same time. That's why.
Hi,
Thanks,
it's
y'all.
Carol, a little late.
Okay. All
Hi,
right,
Carol.
very good. Okay.
So Carol is probably physically the closest to you, Elizabeth, because her senior center is located in Dykeman Houses. And where are you physically located or planning to be?
So we don't have it. Currently we're located on 207th and 10th Avenue.
So yeah, closer to you, Carol.
Good.
Is that a physical space? Is that are you using space from another agency or something like that? Is that you said 207 and 10th Avenue? That's like right by the
train.
No, it's 201 and 10th Avenue. 201 and 202.
That's where Carol is. But Elizabeth is saying that she's at 207th and 10th, which is right by the train station.
You can hear it.
Right. You come right
I
down
think it's
10th
actually
Avenue.
the second floor, right, Elizabeth?
Yes, that's the noise you constantly hear every 2 minutes. It's the train. I can't help it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've passed the office. I know where.
Okay, anyone else? Have any questions or comments?
Is she
Okay.
clear about the message that was given to her?
I'm sorry? Oh, okay.
No, I said that is she clear about the message that you know, that was given to her? I mean, she's we don't want her to leave without some clear understanding, and our, you know, some of us
No,
in a position.
I understood.
Okay.
I totally understood the message. And
I don't want you to, you know, to think that we are just pushing you aside or anything like that. I just want to make sure that you understand how, you know, since up here are operating already, and I'm sure that you're familiar with some of that.
Yeah, I have explored the different services offered in the community, and the angle of the proposal that we aim to achieve is a centralized focus on, particularly in the aspects that we aim to serve. I haven't spoken to the individuals Mrs. Fern mentioned, but I am aware of the different services offered in the Inwood community building, and there's a various aspects of services offered there. It's not just exclusive services for substance abuse. Am I correct?
I have a question also. So when you were doing the presentation, you mentioned the age of the people who, for these services. You mentioned something about 40 and up, or including younger people, or no? Or
No.
Or just people over a certain, 60 or 55 and whatever.
No, this is not, I'm not sure if it came across that way. This is not services just for older adults. These are services that would be available for anyone within New York City that has a substance abuse or dependency that requires and seeks treatment at an outpatient level of services. I have extensive experience in working with different court mandate services, such from parole, probation, federal probation, family court, and key aspects of reintegration of children back into the homes. So that is the aspect of the program, to be able to assist an individual to connect key aspects of their life, to be able to reintegrate into the community in a way that they are productive and that are healthy.
Okay.
So Maria, you're right that and Elizabeth is right. There isn't a lot for older adults. There isn't a lot of a plan or a formula or a way to approach older adults. That makes it an extremely challenging group to work with. And often they have long-term history of substance abuse and other problems. So it's a very challenging population. And I think Elizabeth would have a hard time doing business if that was her only focus. My greater concern is whether it will fall off the radar, because it's not an easily served population. Nobody really wants to detox older adults. In fact, the hospitals no longer do it. The only one that I found that works with that, and that's in a very limited basis, is one program in East Harlem. So it's an extreme challenge. And so I really understand that the main focus can't be really older adults, because what we'd be more interested in is, if someone is interested in services, being able to make a referral back and forth, that kind of thing, which would be more with our casework team. And I would imagine that would be true for all of the senior centers. But Inwood Community Services is really approaching similar things to you, Elizabeth. It's substance abuse, it's mental health problems, it's domestic violence, and it's all ages. So there are heavy similarities, which is why I really suggested talking to the executive director, which is Charlie Corliss. And they are physically on Academy and Broadway, so they're not that far away either. And they have programs with the schools and other things, but they're for these same purposes that you're talking about.
Yeah, and I like I said, I totally agree. I just when I studied the services available within the community, I have understood based on my research that there is a need for more services. Inwood Community doesn't specifically just address these issues. They also have childcare, I believe, in their premises, or deal with some sort of childcare. For some
Yeah,
in regards
maybe
to child
Maria would have to weigh in. I don't know.
No, we
Yeah.
don't have
I
that.
don't think so, though.
Well, we do have a
have
you know, the parole
You have
things, I mean, the family, you know, the assisting of the family as a unit instead of just individual and that type of thing, but no children. I mean, we do have programs on PS 52, but they have nothing to do with this type of services.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So there's other programs that are within the Inwood community, which is great, excellent. The concept of wellness in Inwood would be a space that is geared just for these services. I understand that older adults is a population that requires a lot of work, like Ms. Fern said. I believe I'm up to wellness in Inwood would be up to the challenge. I have a passion about about older adults population. I understand the intricate needs of it, also because there's a cultural aspect that I understand from older adults in this community, being Hispanic, Dominican minority, that it's a cultural taboo to speak about alcohol, that it's okay to go to Dominican Republic and drink rum because that's okay, and you shouldn't say no because that's how we socialize as Dominicans, as Hispanics. So I understand that culturally because I am from the culture. So, and when I came up with the top, when I've been working with about the project, I have that in mind. I believe that the older adults is a population that wellness in Inwood can serve in a very good way. And to the earlier question or the earlier concern that was mentioned as to how the information will get across, it would be through coordination of services. I understand, and I have firsthand knowledge that when you're doing good services, you have to integrate a well care around team. That if the right hand needs to know what the left hand is doing in order for the body to know how it needs to move. So I understand in regards to integration of services, I understand about communicating with other providers. We're doing it currently now in our adult day center. And older adults, yes, a very hard population to work with, but I understand that a lot of what is considered hard is because of the cultural disconnect, because there are no culturally specific programs handling those issues. And Wellness in Inwood would be a culturally appropriate program for those that we aim to serve.
Let me just interrupt here for 1 second. Yosef has joined the meeting, so Yosef will continue with the minutes from this point, please. Thank you, Richard.
Mary,
And just send what you have.
Why don't I finish out this topic and this presenter on the minutes, so that it's together, and then have Yosef pick it up from there.
Okay, fine. Very good. Thank you very much. Now, Marie Garcon has a couple of questions in the Q&A. And Chanel, I wonder, let's see, can we get her on as a participant?
You also have Lilieta Lopez with the hand, up on this. Maybe she has a question also, or a statement.
No, Liliet is on. Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, no, but she has her hands up.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You're right. Thank you. Okay, let me go with Marie first because she's had her questions on the Q&A for a bit of time. Marie, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you for this presentation. My question will be, I have patients who stay at home but yet have drinking problems. How would you be, first, I can refer them to you. Secondly, how would you be able to reach out to them and help them out, assist them?
I'm sorry, thank you for your question. Could you just repeat the problem? I heard homebound.
Yes, they have drinking problems. How would you be able, how can I refer them to you? And how would you be able to work with them? They are homebound. They don't go out. They cannot go out. So would you be able to visit them at home and work with them?
So the visitation is something the program can explore, and we are very open to it. another key component would be the program would have the ability to incorporate telehealth into our core services, one of our main core services. One of the things that has come out of COVID-19 in the pandemic and all the atrocities with it has been the importance of telehealth in providing services, essential services. Yes, there are barriers that we will be addressing before implementing such services for a client like yours, which would be making sure that the technology is in place, that the client understands the uses of the technology, and most important of all, that the technology is user-friendly.
So you will provide that technology?
We would be able to assist in obtaining, having our members have access to the technology. There's various institutions that are making these things more affordable. Federal law now has established in regards to connectivity pricing and all that. So that's something, yes, that our program would be able to, once we continue to develop our plan, work into it. And we do understand that there's a need, and we understand that telehealth would be the solution in reaching these individuals who have been homebound and prior to COVID-19, and the telehealth boom, were unreachable. Now they can be.
So I have 2 referrals for you. When you will be able to start with them, please.
Oh, as soon as I get approval from Oasis and your board.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. Lilia, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning. So I have a few questions. Would your center be accessible? I work for a program that connects people with any disability, any age to services and resources. And,
yes.
And also, would you have interpretation to sign language?
That's yes. We want to be able to address the needs of those that we serve, which is why at the beginning of the presentation, I spoke about person-centered care. So person-centered care meets the individual to where they're at. And if the if the individual in need is at home, has a disability, has a language that we don't have, in order to bring that person on to provide adequate care, all of these factors are placed into consideration when treatment plans are being developed.
Okay, and Mary, I can get in touch with her through you, right? Mary?
I'm sorry?
If I was to get in touch with her, can I get her contact info through you?
Yes, the other thing is, Elizabeth,
I'll
if you
put
could
I'll put my email on the chat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Anyone else? Going once, going twice. So thank you, Elizabeth.
I'm sorry, there's no, I can't see, I don't have a chat. Do I?
You know
I
what?
only have a Q&A.
Put it in, you could put it in the Q&A.
Okay. So you
I think most people have access to that. And the other thing is, if anybody needs that information, I can send it out. I have Elizabeth's email. I could send it out to the group.
Okay.
Okay. Let me just make myself a note. Sorry, it's difficult to write with a bandaged up hand and be able to read it. I can write, but it looks like scribble. So takes me an extra minute or two. All right. So again, thank you, Elizabeth. You're welcome to stay on for the remainder of the meeting if you like. And I appreciate
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I have a couple of people on the call who I don't know, and I wonder if we can hear from them for a moment. Keltha McCauley.
Hi.
Hi.
Unfortunately, I've been back and forth, so I missed some of this. I work, I live in Hudson View Gardens, and I work with a lot of elderly people. It just has been something I've been doing for like 10 years. And so I just wanted to get some information about resources, you know, other than the ones that obviously we all know, Meals on Wheels, etc. And
Gotcha.
that's why I'm on this call.
Okay, thank you very much. It's nice to have you. And there's one other person. Hold on a minute. Write it down. Yvonne Award, it says.
Hi, my
you
name's Yvonne Ward. I'm the Vice President of the New York State Adult Day Services Association. And
New York State what? I'm sorry.
New York State Adult Day Services Association.
Okay.
And I just actually came on to support Elizabeth. I know what amazing work she does and how, you know, how passionate she is. So I'm just here in support.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So the next agenda item that I have on the list is an update on the senior centers. How are things going? Anybody have any updates or?
Well, I can give a brief update. I can say a few words about it. Nothing really definitive. So all of us, as far as I know, have had at least one meeting with the Department for the Aging to try to negotiate budgets. In some cases, we've heard from DFTA about a budget. In some cases, we have not. I spoke to Alana about that yesterday. She was pretty unhappy and felt that maybe she didn't do well with the negotiations. I don't have final definitive numbers at all. And nobody from DFTA got back to me. Although I asked them for the stars, the moon, the sky, and everything in between. So I imagine they have some figuring out to do. Shuli, do you want to say, or Lady, do you want to say a few words about that regarding the senior centers? We are all getting new contracts as of December 16th. So we're all recontracted at our old budgets. And then whatever they're adding will be added later.
Vern, how do you get the 16th? I thought it was December 1st.
They just changed it. They sent another letter. When was it? Like 2 days ago,
Yesterday.
right? Fern?
I think
They sent
yesterday.
it to me 2 days ago. So they extended on the date. The new contract is gonna start on December 16th. So like Fern, I met with the committee and I'm still waiting for them. So I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
But from a community perspective, services continue.
Right.
From an advocacy perspective, advocacy needs to continue, because I want to mention one more thing, which we haven't really talked about as a group, but is also highly relevant to the senior center contracts, which is the labor peace agreement law, which we are now having to sign agreements that we will participate in. And I've sent out to those who asked the language to reserve your right to not agree with this in the future. Because it's a very vague and very onerous law. And the Human Services Council and Live On New York and Federation of Protestant Welfare Agencies and Neighborhood Housing Association and other umbrella organizations are thinking very seriously about suing the city and saying that it's a not legal law. Because it actually, in their view, usurps federal, state, and local labor law regarding unions and requires us, the nonprofit entity, to negotiate with unions regardless of whether or not they represent our membership, which is bizarre. And there are huge fines for not complying. So
Fern, can you repeat the law again? I'm sorry.
it's local law 87, and I can send you some of the advocacy stuff that I got already.
Please, thank you.
Mhm. So I just wanted to put that out there so that people are aware, because it's going to show up in all contracts. This is a city law for all city contractors. It's just that the Department for the Aging, older adult centers and NORCs are being recontracted right now, so we get it first. But it is being intended for every single city contract.
Yeah, because we're dealing that with this, because I'm on the board of directors with Star Senior Center, and yeah, so. Hi. All right. Question under old business and fairness.
Maria has a question.
Well, I have a question
All right, go
about,
ahead.
it's a new business.
Okay.
Are we getting ready for this new virus that is coming along, and we just don't know how we are, the state, the city, and it's going to protect us? I mean, I know that everybody's getting the booster, but I mean, I just don't know. This is scary. They just found, I saw on the news, the new
yeah.
variants that is coming through.
Right.
Uh,
The only thing
I'm
I've
asking people to go back to wearing the face mask, to comply with all the sanitation, things like that. But I just, what else is coming down the pipe?
So far, nothing else has come down the pipe, but that doesn't mean it won't.
Well,
so far,
I can,
it's an additional enforcement on the masks, and on the temperature checks and all of that stuff.
maybe it's timely that I announce on the 9th that people are coming here and they have everything, including flu shots. Can you hear me?
Yes.
On the 9th of December. So if people ask you where to go, maybe for a flu shot, I don't know, you can give them that information.
Okay. Thank you, Carol.
That I just thought I'd mention it since we're talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Boosters, Moderna, Pfizer, the works. They have everything, they told me.
All right. And
Very briefly.
And there are vans all up and down everywhere, popping up. Is that what you were going to say, Maria? Go ahead.
No, I was just asking. Most of us are familiar with Dave Crenshaw's, his group, the Uptown Dreamers. They have a new program. It's been working very nicely because I took it and it was really good for me, about having people learning how to do certain things on their telephone, on the the tablet, the laptop, pictures, especially people like me that don't know how to turn this thing on and off. But it's really very good. He's having another what do you call it, foreign a lesson. It's a little far from most people at the Polo Ground this coming Saturday. And this, like, the students from Columbia University, the Mailman school, that are giving this free, and they really train people to do a lot of, I mean, the training is really one-to-one personal. Everybody has different telephones, things like that. It is so great. And I urge seniors or, you know, to take advantage of that, you know, that particular lessons that they're giving.
Mhm.
So, so, you know, most people know Dave Crenshaw, and, you know, anybody wants to let me know, I can give them the telephone number. I don't want to send, this is on YouTube. I don't want to give his telephone number to the, you know, entire world. But
Right.
anyway, let me know, because it's really, I mean, it really helped us.
I'm gonna say that Richard had Team Dreamers also at A. Philip, and is working with David to do it at A. Philip Randolph Senior Center as well. And we found that we've done a couple of digital Saturday events, and they've been quite successful.
Oh, good.
Verna, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I just, while we're talking about the centers and programs, I was just wondering if the representatives on the center say if they had received their tablets, because you aware that the Department for the Aging is distributing 10,000 free mobile tablets to older adults in the 5 boroughs, and they have to be active participants living alone and are interested in virtual programs. So I was just curious if that program is being rolled out in the various centers that's listed here on the meeting.
Yes, Verna. Lady is nodding. I'm nodding. I'm sure Carol in her phone is nodding. And surely, I know that all of us have gotten tablets and have started rolling out distribution. I can only say for me that we were assigned something like 170, and we've only gotten 33 so far.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And Deandra, I know that the Y has been giving out the tablets also, because I have a friend who goes there, and she's been posting and calling about getting her new tablet and learning how to use it. So.
It's been a hot ticket item. We received 95 out of the 135 that were allocated for us. And then we had so many members in an uproar that I called DIFTA and I told them, if you don't figure something out, I'm going to have the members call you directly, because they're very upset about not getting tablets. They don't understand why they weren't put on this list, why they're not eligible. So we created a wait list. We provided it to DIFTA, and out of that secondary wait list to complete the whole 135, only 4 were not approved. So we're waiting for the additional tablets so we're going to get all of our tablets with the exception of the 4. So we're waiting, and we've been distributing those. Surprisingly, I was kind of surprised in the beginning that we only had 90 people that were interested out of the 135. Our list was 340 something people. And then, so surprisingly, 90 were interested. And now out of that 90, we have about 20 that are not responding to our calls. They have not come to pick up their tablets. They're just like totally non-responsive. So we've started to distribute the in-house 20 to people who were on the wait list that were approved. And I reached out to DIFTA, and I'm waiting for instruction or guide, like, for them to let us know when they're going to give us the other 40 that we're waiting for. So then we can give, if the people who originally were approved but haven't responded, if they show up, we'll have their tablets ready. But there's still a lot of people who are asking about tablets, and we already reached our max. So I don't know what DIFTA is going to do next, but I told them I'm going to refer everyone straight over to
Yeah, well, we're having the same exact experience, Dee. People who said yes, who were very excited, who are responding on the phone. And also lots of other people who were not on the list who were like, and why not me?
Yeah.
So we're also maintaining a list of the why not me's, because clearly there's going to be some reassigning of resources.
Oh boy. DeAndrea, I'm just curious, what center do you belong?
The YMYWHA.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so another thing too that we are encountering, I've been getting calls from persons that's not affiliated to senior centers and who wants this tablet. And I'm trying to just encourage them, hey, please join a senior center. Join a senior center, become active, and it's a possibility that they may get a tablet based on the criteria. I'm not sure. So this is the this is what we are encountering right now from, especially from a lot of the elected officials. They've been asking about their constituents. So thanks for sharing that, ladies
Sure.
and gentlemen. Richard.
So I have a question, very question about for Berna. Are the people who are homebound that cannot go to centers because they don't have, they cannot walk, and they can, they depend on a wheelchair, and some of the buildings are not accessible for them to go in and out and go by bus or by one of the ARC blue bands and things like that. How does that affect them? I mean, that should be.
That's another question that I'm awaiting answer on.
Okay.
Because there are seniors who are homebound, obviously. They don't fit the criteria based on what the 10,000 tablets are asking. So that's another question.
But even if they were members of a center prior to being disabled to just.
Right. But they're saying based on the criteria, saying active participant of a center.
Okay.
Home alone and they want to be involved. So I can ask that question. As I mentioned, it was asked, and I'm gonna ask it again.
You should say it this way, Verna. Say if we're supposed to be encouraging virtual activities.
Right.
That is not possible if they don't have access.
Right. I'll phrase it that way. Thank you, Fern.
Okay, now along the lines of the senior centers and the contracts and all of that, Fern, we had discussed the possibility of a reso. Do we still need to do that reso? Is it better to just leave it on hold for now? What do you think?
I think it's a done deal. Whatever DIFTA is doing, I think is what they're doing. They did respond to the WICOA letter that we sent.
Okay.
Basically saying that they were negotiating individually. So
right.
they are, I'm gonna say, not really gonna give any weight to the reso.
Okay. All right.
Sad to say, but
just wanted to clear that out of the picture because we have that, voted and whatever. All right. The future presentations. Does anybody have any thoughts? Marie, are you?
Well, I was thinking about doing a dance, but we cannot, assemble or anything like that. So.
Speaking of which, folks know the.
I'm in for that.
Okay.
All right, cool. The community board members all got the notices about the party on December 9th, I think it is.
What time?
6 to 8, 6 to 9, 6 to
6 to 9, yeah, 6 to 9 at the Hudson.
I don't think I'm invited.
Carol, are you aware of that?
It didn't come
no,
to me.
I'm not invited because I'm only on this committee.
Right. We didn't get notified, Mary.
Okay, public members need to
They're
get
not going to tell
notified.
anybody.
Gotcha.
I don't think it's okay.
Yeah, I don't care either.
December 9th, 6 to 9.
Insulted.
All right, I will let, well, actually, Chanel. Chanel, are you there?
Yes.
Please make sure the public members of the committees get the invitation to the party, please.
Yeah, okay. No.
They seem to get left out, and they are definitely a valuable, important part of our committees. Thank you. All right, if anybody has any thoughts or ideas for future presentations, please let me know. Okay, and Chanel, you as well, if anything comes into the office. Okay, any, sorry, Carol? No.
Maybe a future presentation might be how we can use our resources, and I don't know who would be a good one to talk about this with us, since we're offering more virtual programs, how we would get the people involved, get the really homebound involved. They would be able to come in on the phone if they don't have Zoom, but to be involved with the centers. I mean, I'm finding that I don't have that many people coming in virtually, probably because they don't have Zoom, but still in all, I'd like to devise a way to reach out to these people. Maybe we could get a list from DIFTA. Maybe DIFTA could help us with this. They might have some ideas. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else having that problem.
Does anyone else want to address this?
Don't all answer at once.
I think we're having the problem and DIFTA is not helping.
Okay.
Okay. So when DIFTA wouldn't be the one, who might be the one? Maybe.
I don't know. Actually, it might be worth considering. There are a couple of companies that do virtual activities. Maybe it's worth talking to them about what they do.
Might that be something that would come up in the directors meeting? And
oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. Did I mention last month's meeting about having someone from the shelter and what's happening at the
yes, you did. And actually, Ebenezer was supposed to send me the information as who is in charge there now, and he didn't.
Help USA one, Maria?
Yeah, what's happening is that there's more people wandering on Broadway and around this. I mean, just even coming down to 155th Street, a lot of homeless people, and we don't know what's happening, what type of services are providing at the shelter, since they have a new administration, I believe.
Yeah.
I would also reach out to Help USA, the shelter on Audubon and 180th. They've actually been sending seniors to us, and the seniors have been getting housing. So I think that, it might be an interesting, larger conversation, maybe even jointly with Human Services Committee.
Can you send me the information?
I can send you the stuff on Help USA. I don't know anything about the one at 168.
No, I'll try. No.
Mary, do they still have a cab for the shelter on 168th Street?
Have a what?
A cab, like a community meeting? Because I know they had some of those when I was included years ago, but I'm not sure if they still do.
I don't know of them otherwise, because I would probably get involved in that since I live right here.
I'm sorry?
No, they don't have it. They don't have it.
No,
that might be a good idea to push for it, because I know that I learned quite a bit of the work that they do throughout. And again, that was 4 years ago, but I learned a lot of the work that they were doing. But also too, there were some things I know that there's homeless women that have been around the area, but they're clearly not in the shelter because that's a men's shelter. So that's also a consideration, because folks were complaining about some women, and it's well, they're not from that same facility. If they're,
probably Help USA.
Yeah, no, this was way before that. So
there's also a shelter on 174th in the 500 block. So there's a lot of stuff that we don't hear about that's actually there and going on.
So I think that's the reason why I mentioned that, just to make sure that we have proper information on who might be residents and who's not, because if not, then you have to reach out to other people. Thank you, Fern.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you all. All right. Announcements. Anybody have anything that we didn't announce already?
We will be open on Christmas Day and New Year's Day actually Christmas Day, Eve Day and New Year's Eve Day with parties for the seniors. It's limited to 70 people max, and it's first come, first serve. And I know Shula, you're open as well, right?
Yeah, we're open on both those days, and actually we're having a Hanukkah party on this coming Monday. And their tickets have to be purchased in advance, either for we're having an on-site party with limited attendance, and we're having a grab and go party in a bag option, but the tickets have to be purchased for both.
Dia, you guys open?
We are open on Christmas Eve and we are closed on New Year's Eve. We had our Hanukkah party yesterday and it was a huge success.
Great.
We have a lot of party animals over here, so it was a great time.
Okay.
And then we're having a masquerade ball to celebrate the holidays and the new year later on in the month. So everybody's really excited about that.
But I should just add where our New Year's celebration will not be on New Year's Eve on Friday, because Friday at our center is a bit of a short day. We will be celebrating New Year's Eve a bit early on Monday, December 27th.
Cool.
Very nice. All those wild seniors going rampant.
You gotta love them. They're so cool when they get all into it.
And if there's any, it's Marielle again. I just don't look presentable, y'all, but that picture of me is beautiful, so feel free. If you all need any kind of help within, I know that a lot of people love to volunteer during the holidays, so it might not be necessary, but if anyone needs help on any of those special days, I live in the district as well, so, and I've always gone to, well, I've been to a few of the centers during lunch with my boss, but I know that I've been to Ferns a little more than the other one. So if folks are interested, and I know you have party animals, the biggest party I've seen is in the Bronx and Sepco. So I would like for one of y'all to beat that. People got down.
Yeah, well, now with COVID restrictions, that's tough, kid.
Yeah, so let me know if y'all need help, and I'll try to put my email in the Q&A.
Good. Call me. I haven't used you. It sounds great. Carol Weeks, you got a pen?
Sorry, I muted myself. One second.
Sure.
Go ahead, Carol.
That's too good to be true. 212-569-7790.
Gotcha.
We need a little bump. That would be wonderful.
I
We
got
need
you.
a new face. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for the thank you note, Maria.
And I just wanted to say, the Haven Plaza has been, talked about, rumored around, wondering, what it's all about. But I went to a very nice affair yesterday. They had an hour of kind of a community get together to, kind of, they called it Winter Haven, and lit up the lights that they put on all the trees in the plaza area. And they had hot chocolate and ginger tea and these monstrous Boston cream donuts. And they had small menorahs given out in bags for anybody that wanted them.
Was there a nice turnout?
There was a fantastic turnout. A lot of the Columbia people, obviously, but also, members of the community. I think Haven Avenue was well represented there. And presentations, by Ross Drummer, Mark Levine. Mark, in fact, lit the candles on the big menorah that they have there. And it was very nice. Very nice. The weather was, conducive to being outside. It was chilly, but no wind, because that plaza area can get really windy and chilly, but it was quite nice. And of course, the hot chocolate was delicious and burning hot. I had to wait for it to cool off to drink it. But anyway, just wanted to say that, that they're they're trying to, you know, do community affairs like that, which is, you know, what that plaza was supposed to be from the get. So
Okay.
anyway,
I'd like to you know, I need to leave. I'm jumping to another Zoom in about like 2 minutes. I want to wish everybody the happy holidays, and please drink as much as you can. There is you know, who I know. So anyway, happy to everybody, Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and Christmas and everything else, and we'll see you around. All right, goodbye, dear.
Take care.
I did all of that.
Vern, please
L'chaim,
give me a
Maria,
call.
l'chaim. I'm
Vern,
drinking
give
to
me a
you.
call.
What?
Okay.
Thank
L'chaim.
you.
And
All
remember,
right.
our meeting will be on January 6th, which is Old King's Day, but
Speaking
so
Day, and you're gonna have a present for all of us. Goodbye.
yes, absolutely.
Bring you
I'll be rid of this bandage on my hand, so that will be my present to myself. Thank you, Jesus. You got this off in 2 weeks, so I can't wait. And the pin comes out and all that. So, it's been a challenge, but
Okay,
anyway.
I have to
All
run,
right.
guys. Thank you.
And
Take care,
thank you to
everyone.
everybody for joining the meeting. And
Thank you.
Thank
stay
you.
well, take care, and I'll see you in January.
Thanks. Happy
Or
holidays.
at the party. Somebody
care.
will be at the party, so take
Oh,
care.
that'll be fun.
All right. Bye-bye.
I know.
So we're closing this meeting at 12 noon. Thank you, Chanel, for everything.
You're welcome.